Hello, my name's Fox 9, so they and I'm Fox. I'm trying to use my webcam to try to cut back on using this thing because the batteries keep dying for it, so I'm kind of trying to fix it. But I found, like, if I mess with OBS, I can make it look horrifying. Hi. You can only see my goddamn teeth correctly. Jesus. Anyways, anyways. God. Oh, God. But anyways, I'm just, wait, actually, did it look better? I actually don't know if it looked better. Or maybe it's not, I don't know. Opacity? Oh, God. Brightness? Ha! 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 You can kind of see my teeth. Ha! Okay, let's see. I think my webcam's just shit. Alright, let me just... Actually, it kind of crisped up the that's not too bad. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Anyways, I just saw Monkey Kid. Well, actually, I've been watching. I saw season 1 and season 3. I just finished season 3, which I really gotta like build these sets. I also want like they're starting to be discontinued. I need to get some of the other ones. I have that set, and I have, hold on. Holy shit. This set, which I definitely need to, build. And also, I'm noticing, oh no, MK does have his bang, never mind. In any case, is season 1 and 2, which, season 2, I think, honestly, it's been a minute, but as far as I can remember, a lot of season 2 is very much episodic, like season 1, but it's building up stuff. I can't remember if it was this season or last season. My hair. Jesus. Actually, no, because last season was building up stuff with the Demon Bull King, or was it a movie? I can't even remember. Sorry, I'm a bit hazy, but... Remember, because the Demon Bull King released the Lady Bone Demon who tried to help, and, Demon Bull King had, superpower or whatever, and that originally released Lady Bone Demon, and eventually, there was the whole spider fight, and all that. Spider Lady's underground, slowly trying to rebuild her army, and getting help from this mysterious young lady who's helping. While that's going on, MK is learning how to use his new monkey powers, while Monkey King actually leaves. He leaves for a good chunk of time, and MK is kind of worried, not knowing, what he's doing. And Monkey King every so often calls, but, and sometimes he gives a little bit of help, but he says, oh yeah, I'm on vacation, which we find out later that's not the case. And to the point where, at one point, MK has to deal with a giant... What the hell? Trying to make sure that camera looks good. My hair. I need to really fix my hair before I do videos. MK, a giant boiling dumpling from the gods falls down, and we find out later, oh, that boiling dumpling is actually from a dinner with gods, and while Wukong was trying to talk with these guys because he's trying to figure out pretty much about the Lady Bone Demon and a way to stop her. Especially because the Lady Bone Demon is using the Spider Queen and her resources to slowly build up this new bone mech. While this is going on, there's a bunch of things like Pigsy having this whole thing with table tennis. Ping pong. With ping pong, where he has an addiction with it. MK having to learn to actually listen to people, but he takes it as just listening, but it's actually listen to what people have to say. there's stuff like, I'm trying to think of, yeah, because it was that he learned a little bit of the transformations. Eventually he does master it. But, like, he turned his hand into a puppy at one point. But he starts transforming into different things. Like, he turns into a gorilla, he turns into a spider, which creeps him out. He learns to grow big and small. And again, while this is all going on, he plays a video game that somewhat simulates the beginning, I guess, of Journey to the West. And honestly, like, all of the different moves up here that he can learn, abilities, all that stuff, I'm just like, God, I would love a game like that has, like, all those abilities and moves and stuff like that. And, mind you, but it is only, like, I think, like, 3 or bosses or so. It's like, alright. But MK pretty much just tries to power through it, and eventually he has to learn to actually combo and stuff like that, and, like, learn to dodge or learn to counter, and eventually he even learns, like, a super powerful move. It does, like, a super punch or all that, and it's freaking awesome. I'm trying to think. There's also the episode. I'm trying to think of everything that happened in season 2, because the rest of the episode, season 3, I remember a lot more, and season 3 is like, I don't know. Would I say it's more serialized? Man, these shadows are a little bit. Maybe I should have messed around with the. Whatever. I think it's like it's slightly more serialized, I guess, kind of. Like, it's still episodic, but I'm trying to think. Man, I had it. Okay, because there was that. There was the cooking thing against the gold and silver demon, which they're, like, trying to put Pigsy out of business, and they're just selling, like, warm-up food, which, like, no one is eating. Also, Monkey King is a sponsor in that, but it's just, like, a cardboard of him, and the cardboard just happens to land in the Pigsy bowl, and it's like, oh, yeah, I endorse this! Like, it says, because it's like a little voice box, like, yeah! Stupid. But, yeah, there was that. Eventually, like, the Spider Queen... Oh, and what is it? There is one where MK has hiccups because he ate these enchanted meatballs. So Sandy has to go find this magic flower that only blooms at this one time and use that magic to create a tea for MK to drink that'll heal him. But then one of the spider goons goes to it. Oh, I just remembered most of season 2. It goes to the spider goons, goes to it, pisses off Sandy, and Sandy pretty much, one, his goodness makes all the animals fight for him, but also pretty much shows off that he is extremely powerful. Like, holy shit. Okay, but there's that. Then you had another episode where the spider goons break, Tang and MK go to, because when the giant ball of dumpling comes down, like, there's like, we can't destroy it, because if we destroy it, it'll cast the entire, like, all the soup that's stored inside will explode out of it and coat the city and burn everyone alive. So Tang and MK go to Monkey King's thing. They try to look for stuff. I can't remember. I think if I remember correctly, there is a Buster Sword there that turns into, like, a cannon. It's kind of awesome. There's, like, a bunch of, like, different weapons, stuff like that. I believe Aang's glider is there, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember. I had notes, and I can't find the notes in this. That's why I'm kind of mad about that. But then another spider guy goes in there, and he steals... Because the whole thing is that they're going to steal a jar that can suck up the dumpling, and that way it doesn't explode on people. But I can't remember what exactly it is, but another one of the spider goons goes there to try to grab another item, because the whole thing is that all the spider people are grabbing all these different items to feed into, like, this main furnace thing. I believe it's the furnace that came from the Celestial Realm, and they're using that to power up the bone skeleton mech, because they're like, oh yeah, this will definitely help you. And Bone Lady's like, I'm actually just doing this for myself. And eventually she starts taking all of the spider people's souls. And I don't think the end of season 3, we see that she still has control over their souls. We don't see them come back. I don't know if they're dead. But eventually this all culminates to MK and everyone training out into the desert. The Bone Demon and also another thing that's actually really cool about this too, and Bone Demon, is that when MK eventually does sneak into the the spider thing and destroys the spider lady's like mech, and Spider's like, why did you do this? That was my only chance to stop her. And then that's when the Bone Demon kind of kills the Spider Queen and takes her soul. But then MK tries to use his golden vision to like see into, I'm sorry if it sounds, hopefully it doesn't sound echoey. It sounded a little echoey. My mess was trying to make shit better. I don't know if I am, but it sound like he uses golden vision, and she like hacks his golden vision with her magic, and I'm like, that's so freaking insane. Also, I remember there's an episode 2, and I think it's part of the whole thing of grabbing magical items is like they break into a library that's like connected with all the internet because everyone got knocked out because of because of an app, and then MK pretty much goes crazy in like an hour. And like I don't know, that ties actually to like one of the actual Journey to the West stories, if I remember correctly, of like the library with like all the knowledge in the world and stuff. But yeah, there was that. I'm trying to think now. Sorry, I'm jumping around because it's been a minute since I've seen this season. That part of the season. Trying to think exactly. But okay, so there's that. There was the Macaque episode where MK's worried about being like, if he's good enough to be the Monkey King's successor. Eventually goes to this shadow play with his friends, and he leaves for snacks. And his friends' souls all get sucked into a lantern, which is Macaque's. And Macaque actually tells a whole story of kind of the thing. I think it's the warrior and the hero or something. I can't remember exactly, but pretty much Macaque brings up that him and Monkey King were best friends. They fought alongside each other, but Monkey King eventually became bigger and stronger and stuff like that, and more famous, and he feels that Monkey King left him behind, and eventually that brings it to resentment and all that stuff. And we find out in season 3, like they're fighting in rivalry, because then Monkey Kid MK actually is like, yeah, I feel kind of like the warrior in that sense, where like I feel like I was left behind and all this stuff. And he's like, you're not the warrior, you're the king or whatever. He's like what? And pretty much Macaque showing that, he like, one, it's cool showing like the parallels between the two, and pretty much Macaque is like, you're not me, pretty much. You're the one who left your friends behind. You didn't even notice your friends have been missing all this time when you left them. And he's like, what? And that's when like a bit of a, I don't know if it was a bit of a fight, but like eventually Macaque does break the land. Oh yeah, because MK fights the shadow versions of his friends. Eventually breaks the lantern, sets his friends free. And MK's like, why are you like... He's like, remember, kid, you have 2 mentors, saying because one of them, he disappears, he fixes his lamp, and then that's when the mayor, which is like another character, which is actually controlled by Lady Bone Demon, grabs the lantern, and that's another thing that they feed to the magic pot. Eventually culminates to the season finale, where the Lady Bone Demon fully summons her mech, and they start fighting against... She starts fighting against MK, and the thing is, like, every time MK uses a move, she drains that magic out of him and that power out of him, and he's like, and eventually even taking the staff, and Monkey King eventually comes back, and he's beat the hell up. Eventually, Monkey King is able to get back and able to save MK, but MK pretty much loses the staff, loses all of his powers, supposedly, and it looks like he's done. He's like, oh shit. And they barely escape as the Lady Bone Demon has a mech that's super powered, and she's gonna take over the world. Then, and pretty much, Monkey King, they say, like, we're worried and all this stuff. He's like, look, I had to grab this map, because we have to find a way to stop the Lady Bone Demon, and this is how we're gonna do it. And they're like, alright, then where do we start? And he's like, well, we're gonna start heading our journey to the west. And it's like, hell yeah! So pretty much MK is going to be, and pretty much like season 3 is a journey to the west in some sense, even though they end up east, now that I'm thinking about it. But pretty much then that cues into the next season where Goku fights Ichigo, if I'm remembering correctly, because man, what is his name? Guy with wheels from Monkey Kid. Okay, Nezao. Nezao, who is... I can't remember exactly. I know he's in the original myth, too. But he has the wheels that are on fire that allow you to fly around. Demon Child. Big Immortal Baby. Third Lotus, Nezi. Hold on, let me see. Is... Family... I want to see his... Yep, Johnny Young Bosch. If I remember correctly, isn't he the voice of literally Dante and Ichigo? Voice of Ichigo, English dub. Johnny Young Bosch, yep. Yeah, so Johnny Young Bosch. So we have not only Goku in this, we have Ichigo / Dante. So I'm like, hell yeah, / Nero. But hell yeah, I'm like, oh shit. But yeah, so pretty much Sun Wukong go, if I remember correctly, I don't know if it was it that he was stealing the ring? Because I can't remember if he was stealing the ring, or I think he was just going to steal the map. He just went to steal the map. Ichigo tells him, like, you can't do this, Wukong, and, like, there's a shield around. He's like, you can't even get through that. Not even you can. And Wukong's like, I can. And he pushes his way through, and he does eventually get in, breaks it, gets the map, but it damages him, hurts him a lot. Eventually, that's when Lady Bone Demon awakens, and he's like, I gotta go. And he leaves. Ichigo's like, I'm going to stop you, Wukong. You can't do this. And he flies off. Wukong flies off. Eventually, like, it looked like he lost his cloud floating ability also, but he gains it back. Well, I guess he does, because Monkey King also loses a good chunk of his power doing that stuff. And, like, getting the map and all that. Eventually, he does go there. He grabs MK, grabs everyone, does, and tells him, it's a journey to the west. We gotta go. As well as, man, it sucks that I really, like, I hope this next season I'll obviously do it right after I'm done watching it. My mistake was, like, watching it separate days. I'll just, like, binge this whole season. But, pretty much there's a lot of parallels between, like, Monkey King and and MK. Like, there's, like personality-wise and all that stuff. There's good, like, there's definitely, like, a father-son kind of, like, yeah, that's his kid. But, that's his monkey kid. But, those two, pretty much, they're, a journey to the west. I'm trying to think now. And pretty much, like, they're right now trying to run away from Macaque, because Macaque starts chasing after him, and it turns out a big reason for this is that Macaque actually is kind of indebted to the Lady Bone Demon, because as far as I'm remembering and understanding, Monkey King killed Macaque. He did kill Macaque. Macaque went to the underworld, and the Lady Bone Demon resurrected him in exchange for giving him the key and telling him that, like, if you release me, I'll bring you back to life, but you have to release me. You have to free me. And Macaque's like, no. And eventually now Lady Bone Demon's free. He's like, oh shit. So Lady Bone Demon has him on a leash and tells him, you better do what I say or I will erase the very memory of you from this world. And pretty much Macaque starts chasing after him. Kind of like, I think, like, that's pretty much what the first half of this season was, if I remember correctly. Like, them just running away from Macaque. And there's a bunch of cool things that happen. Like, they eventually go to the underwater dragon palace, where Monkey King's like, oh, they're friends! And, like, you stole our magic staff! And he's like, oh, shit. And eventually, it looks like they're gonna kill the group until MEI shows that she's also a dragon. And you're like, wait, where'd you get the sword? That's a family heirloom. And she's like, and they're like, oh, you're one of us. You're our great-great-granddaughter or whatever. And he's like, well, throw her friends in the jail. You're gonna learn to be an actual dragon. And she's like, the hell? And eventually she does break everyone out and gets her sword back and all that stuff. Also, again, the staff is just completely gone. MK is kind of having an identity crisis also because he doesn't have the staff and it doesn't seem like he doesn't have his powers. So he's like, I'm going to be the smart one. Doesn't really work out, even though it is Sokka voicing him. But Eventually, though, he actually does start slowly regaining his powers. Like when they go to when they go through a desert and they're dying of thirst. Again, still running away from Macaque. Macaque eventually goes to the Dragon Kingdom, and like the dragon, like MEI's great grandpa or cousin or whatever. He actually, I think probably grandpa, actually does like hold off Macaque and let like go, like you better you know what you're doing, go, and she thanks him and all that. It's cute. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it was cute. It was a terrible review. Sorry. So, they ride off, desert. Might be getting some of these mixed up, but they go to a desert. There's this one guy in a fishbowl, and he's like, I'll trade you water for a game of shells. And MK's like, I'll figure this out with my mind. Doesn't work out. The guy swindles everything off him. He gives everything away, including his friends. Eventually, I can't remember what exactly was the last thing. I think it was the map. Tries to bet that. And he actually does activate his golden eyes, sees what the thing is, keeps it makes it to where he actually succeeds it, wins all his shit back. They take all the water. I can't remember exactly what happened to the fish guy. I think they might have just left him without water. I can't remember. Or just left him in a bowl. Because there's like a fish guy in a bowl. Eventually, I think this is like also like the turning point. Because there's a point where like it kind of switches like almost like another season a little bit. But eventually they start heading, and again, I might be missing something. Oh, wait, actually, I might be missing something. But pretty much, at one point, the party gets separated, where Macaque actually grabs MEI, Sandy, I think it was MEI. Also, I should say this too. Throughout this entire thing, Monkey King is in, like, a meditative state, which I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. I was kind of expecting, like, oh, shit, Monkey King's actually going to be part of the party now. He's going to be part of the group. Actually be a character more than just popping up every so often. That kind of doesn't happen for the first half of this season. Because he like is in a trance pretty much, and he's trying to basically regenerate his magic. And it's pretty much saying like, both of these guys can actually regen their powers. MK slowly has to re-unlock them, while Monkey King just has to like kind of charge up again. But while that's going on, Macaque grabs, I think it was Sandy. Yeah, because he grabs Sandy, MEI, and MK, drags him to a Shadow Realm version, and starts, kind of giving MK, like, you can't save them and all this stuff. You can't do you're not a hero, kid. Just give up. Eventually, MK does, breaks free, and like his magic eyes and all his powers start coming back. They eventually break free of Macaque's thing. Macaque's like, alright, fine. If I'm remembering correctly, I apologize. I probably, I don't want her to just go back and anyways, sorry. Maybe I'll rewatch the whole thing and make a better review later. I don't know. But Macaque eventually separates the two and pretty much says, you're not going to win this, kid. Separates the groups. Tang, Pigsy, and Monkey King are on their own separate things, and he's like, oh shit, where are the others? They're just like, we gotta wake up Monkey King. They put a pepper in his mouth. It burns him awake, and then when he does that, he has amnesia and thinks he's still during Journey to the West, and he even mistakes Pigsy for, the original pig in the myth, his friend, as well as Tang for Tripitaka, even though they name him like Tang Chong, something like that. I don't know if that's another way of Journey to the West, or if they just didn't want to use Tripitaka. But Tripitaka, but pretty much sees that. Tang actually gets kidnapped by a scorpion demon, that eventually, Monkey King finds just this thing. He's like, this is my magic staff. And they eventually they talk to this little guy, gnome guy, who, talks a lot for, a day. And then they're like, Pigsy's like, is he gonna tell us anything useful? He's like, oh yeah, he told me, an hour, the beginning. I just wanted to catch up with him. And he's like, what? They eventually go to the scorpion place where, the scorpion lady is kind of hidden, but, she's very obvious that she's a scorpion demon. I think Tang figures that out quickly, but also she feeds him, so he's okay with it. Eventually, if I'm remembering correctly, eventually they brace in, they fight, and Tang's like, look, you're just lonely, right? And he's like, well, yeah, like, can't you stay here? Like, I just want friends and someone to talk to. He's like, well, okay. And then Pig's like, I got an idea. And brings the little gnome guy who talks a lot. Which, I feel bad, because I feel like if it was at least, like, the Scorpion Lady was kind of into it. Not, like, into it like that, but, like, into it where, like, she's... Like, she was okay with it, but, like, the guy started talking, and she's like, yeah, sure. Like, I felt, like, kind of bad for her. And I'm like... she wasn't even a bad person. She just wanted someone to talk to and have friends, especially because she heard about Monkey King saying, like, about how they're good friends and all that stuff. And eventually, and then Monkey King also drops because Pig's like, well, we got to go find the 3 rings of. Oh, I forgot to mention, the whole point of the map is so they could find, is it the Subdue Flame, which is a powerful weapon that could destroy the Lady Bone Demon, supposedly. I'm trying to think now, sorry. I'm trying to think, what was it? Oh yeah, so, to try to find the flame, Pigsy brings up, okay, well, we have to go find the 3 rings, and Monkey King goes, no, there's 4 rings, and Pig's like, what? And then Tang dropped a boulder on his head. And that had Monkey King wake up and remember everything. Oh yeah, sorry. And eventually, what was the episode literally right after that? Because then after that, and Pig's like, I like does not trust Monkey King at all. Also, I can't remember if it was last season or this season, but like, MK really does see Pigsy as like his dad too. But anyways, MK and MEI and Sandy are going through the desert. They pass out. They get found by Red Sun, and Red Sun, it brings them back home, which is their palace, like in the desert. His dad's there, the Demon Bull King, and Princess Iron Fan. And while they're there, they talk about like, oh yeah, we need to get the rings of the Subdue Flame, and they're like, oh shit, and like, yeah, no, you can't do that, and like, why? And it turns out that the flame was created by Red Sun when he was born, and he was just stupidly powerful where he couldn't control it. So, Demon Bull King, Monkey King, Ichigo, and Tripitaka, and the dragon, the horse dragon, used magic to separate the flame into 3 rings, and each of the 3 guardians were supposed to scatter them across the world. Ichigo chucked that sucker into the moon. Demon Bull King, which we find out MK, the ring around his nose was actually the thing, and that's where MK pretty much has, which I thought maybe like it was gonna be like he pulled the ring and it turns out it wasn't actually it. Turns out it was. I was like, oh shit. But Demon Bull King's nose ring, and then another one is like Monkey King just took that sucker and just chucked it into the earth. To the point where now a city built itself around the ring and the gift that Monkey King bestowed upon them. And like everyone knows about that one, and he's like, yeah, it's well hidden. And it's like, no, it's not. Everyone knew about it. But yeah, and pretty much MK steals the ring, turns to a spider. He regains his transform ability. Turns to a spider. I think that's how he actually defeated Macaque. He transformed, if I remember correctly. Turns to a spider, grabs the ring out of the Bull King's nose after him and his wife kind of pass out after watching the cooking show of the bunny girl, if I remember correctly, who then is the next episode, is the one who has the other ring. They have to go to the moon to get it, which that's the whole thing with like the Moon Tribe being high. Actually, now I think about it, the Moon Tribe being highly advanced, as well as, the bunny theming. Also, Monkey King loves all little bunny things. Things are super cute. Also, I wouldn't surprise me if like the mech that's up there guarding it is like supposed to be a reference to like Overwatch a little bit. Like divas, but any case, Monkey King. Anyways, they steal the nose ring. They steal one of Red Sun's race cars, and MEI transforms it with her dragon powers. They drive off. I really love how a lot of their powers are still connected to like the build or building mechs and stuff like that. It's really funny. MK isn't able to use his monkey mech until he actually gets his staff back later, but. They eventually get that ring, and again, the bunny one, they just go up to space, grab that ring. Pigsy geeks out with this cook and gives her like a recipe, and he's on the cookie show with her. Also, Red Sun and May's friendship, maybe love, is really great. I love those two so much. Like, and also Red Sun kind of. I love how they show Red Sun that kind of does care about this frenemy group, because eventually, like, Sandy, May, and MK trying to steal from the dude and try to steal the ring. They actually, like, they sleep over, and Red Sun's like, oh, like, they're like, oh, do you guys want anything else? And MK's like, I could use another blanket. And he's like, oh, what do you want next? Warm milk? And he's like, that'd be nice too. And Red Sun's like, oh my god. And he leaves. But later on, when he sees May and Sandy trying to break in to steal his race car, you see him bring a blanket and a warm glass of milk. So it's like, oh my god, he actually was gonna get them in. I'm like, that's so cute. I love that. Like, god. Then he gets promptly knocked out, and then used his fingerprints to get it, and then, he gets his car stolen. So these are the heroes, everyone. But eventually they fly off. They land. Then they meet up again with Monkey King and everyone. And that's eventually when they go to the lantern thing. There's a whole. That's eventually when they go to. They meet back up. They eventually go to the Lantern City where they find the other ring. They have to go through like a battle of the bands. Tang feels like he's kind of being put on the sidelines as just the manager of the band. Also, I love Monkey King's whole thing where he's like, "Here, big guy, read this. You haven't said anything in a minute to Sandy because he hadn't said anything." And it was like the note about the battle of the bands, about the rings. And MK goes, like, can you not read? And I don't think Monkey King can read, but Monkey King goes, no, he's like, I just have stage fright. I just have stage fright. No, I just have stage fright. That's pretty much how he says it, sarcastically. And then eventually when they're going to go on stage, Monkey King goes, hey, remember how I said I had stage fright? That wasn't a joke. I do have that. Also, I do feel like this episode also kind of was like the episode before shit hits the fan that the guys really want to do, so they kind of just made this kind of happen a little bit. But pretty much, Tang, while, I don't know, it's just how the writing kind of felt. But Tang, while everyone else is doing this thing, he's like, I'm going to prove myself. He goes up to the giant floating lantern, tries to get the ring. Macaque is there. Macaque wants to steal the ring because he wants to get rid of the Lady Bone Demon from possessing him and all that stuff. Eventually, Tang is able to grab it after Pixie does a song thing. They eventually escape with the ring. Macaque, the Lady Bone Demon's like, oh, that's what they're doing. Get them. Gives him like an ice upgrade. Starts freezing the entire city. Macaque chases after them. Ichigo catches up with him. He's like, you son of a... Like, I'm going to beat the shit out of you, Wukong. Monkey King makes fake rings. Tells the other guys to go to the top of the mountain where the rings were originally created and wait for him there. Also, when May and Red Sun touched at one point, they both saw a vision of May, like, on fire with, like, the 3 rings. So pretty much confirmed, and later on it is confirmed that, yes, she is the 4th ring because when the power was separated, Monkey King was kind of messing around a little bit, and some of the energy sparked off of his, and the dragon had to absorb it, and that is now just in, I guess, his bloodline. So May was the 4th ring. So, that being said, they go to the top of the mountain. Monkey King distracts Ichigo with a pretty decent fight. It's really, the fights in this are really good. I love the animation in this show. Really good fight. Eventually, and apparently they're going to be doing the next Avatar, so hell yes. Macaque comes in, freezes them, gets the ring, sees their hair, is like, oh, this is fake. And then sees, like, they actually accidentally start the ritual. There's, like, the golden cicada that appears to Tang. And, like, pretty much everyone starts slowly regaining the powers they had, like, in a past life. Eventually, like, they're even like, that's us, right? Like, that is us. Like, in the past. Like, we look all the same as they did then. And, like, they never give a full reason why. And I was like, man, we're never going to get this answer. Because on the thing that I watched it on, it only showed 3 seasons. We'll get to that. But, so Tang So pretty much Tang starts accidentally activates it. The rings start, igniting, and so does the power inside Mei. And Mei's like, oh, like, what's happening? Macaque comes in, uses, like, his mech, and he's like, stay down, kid. Tells MK, stay down. I just need to do this. I need to stop. I need to get this to the Lady Bone Demon, or she's gonna kill me. MK's like, you can't do this. It's bad. Eventually, Macaque holds Mei, like, in the circle, tells Tang to continue the chant. He sees the golden cicada, which is a symbol for Tripitaka, if I remember correctly, and starts, doing the ritual, eventually releasing the flame. The flame, I can't remember what the name is. It's an S word, and then it's that flame. Releases the flame, she gains a new fiery form, which she can't control, and could possibly burn down the universe, what Red Sun says. And starts looking to destroy everything. Looks like it might destroy everything. Actually pushes out the Lady Bone Demon out of Macaque. And pretty much it seems like everyone's like saying, we have to leave. MK's like, I can't leave Mei. I'm not going to leave her. He pushes away through the flames. Macaque just dips. He dips. Eventually, MK goes, grabs Mei, hugs her. And, like, she's able to kind of control it for a second. But eventually it starts kind of getting bad. Eventually she flies off, and I'm trying to think. Eventually she flies off. Monkey King goes like, that was my only plan. And, like, his plan was literally just, like, maybe he could get the fourth ring out of Mei, and, like, he was going to absorb the flame, and he was going to channel it. Which is honestly a very Monkey King style thing. I was like, I'm just going to try to take it all on myself. And eventually that's what he even does. So he's like, look, I beat her once, I'll beat her again. I don't need the flame now. I'm just gonna wing it. I'm just going to go there and fight her. And they're like, that's a bad idea. He's like, I got no other options. Flies off. Everyone's like, oh shit, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I'm trying to remember. Oh, and that Ichigo, and if I remember correctly, Ichigo and MK actually do go to try to stop Monkey King. Tang, Pigsy, and Sandy start to try to fix the car. They eventually fall into a library where they see, like, their past self, and that's where the whole thing is like, wait, that's us, right? And, like, Sandy's like, oh, I actually have a shit ton of theories about this. Because, we all have theories about that if you're watching it. But, okay, so... Sorry, I'm just trying to, like, angle it to where, like, I can... Because I keep looking at myself. But, so... Sorry, this is taking a minute. I apologize. This is just me talking. But, MK... But also, like, Mei wakes up in, like, a place, and Red Sun is there, and pretty much Red Sun starts teaching her how to control the flame. And, like, he also gets visions of, like, when he had it, and he's like, look, you have to control this fire, or you can destroy the earth, and you're also, like, our only hope, Mei. While that's going on, Monkey King goes to Lady Bone Demon, starts fighting her and her, like, subordinate. Fights them. Eventually, it looks like he's about to win until, like, Lady Bone Demon, like, you can't kill me, because if you kill me, you're gonna kill my host. And Monkey King's like, I have to. But he hesitates too long. The Bone Demon pulls, like, most of her power out of, like, the mayor guy that she was controlling and throws it in the Monkey King, taking control of him and giving him, like, a cool, like icy blue armor. MK and Ichigo are there. They're seeing this fight and, like, oh, shit. Ichigo can't even, like, catch up with the fighting. And eventually, Monkey King comes in, and it looks like Monkey King's about to, if I remember correctly, Monkey King looks like he's about to kill MK or about to get to him. And Macaque just, like, immediately just sucks him through a portal and sends him to where Mei is. Where Mei actually, for, like, however long, had actually been training with Red Sun and actually kind of has it under control. And, like, Red Sun theorizes it's because she's part dragon that she's also able to control the fire on top of that, which I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Giving a dragon a super firepower. Also, it's like a really cool form. Like, she's outlined like in like pinkish, and like that inner is black, and like the flames all around. It's a really cool form. And I also love when, like, I feel like, because, what is it? In Assassin's Creed, I know, I'm jumping everywhere, why not Assassin's Creed this way? In Assassin's Creed Odyssey, there's a mission. There's a mission where you fight, where you have to find, like, oh yeah, this is a weapon that I made for my wife, or whatever. I can't remember clearly. Where it's like, oh, it's a magical flame. I'm like, oh, it's like a magic, like, flame that gives you, like, superpowers of that. And it's like, no, they just meant, like, explosives. I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. But, okay, whatever. But, in any case, and I'm like, this is kind of how I felt like this should be, like, some kind of cool fiery aura kind of thing that you control. Anyways, also, if for some reason both MEI and Gentry Chow had made firepower so freaking cool. Like, firepowers are already, like, kind of cool baseline, but, like, I feel like they are, like, the least, like, useful in some cases. And this one, 100%, like, MEI's firepower. Gentry Chow's one definitely has, like, extra abilities on top of it. But, and I feel like MEI's is going to be something like that. But, like, just it being just a super power destructive immortal flame is just, like, so badass. But, so, fire. She tries to control it. Eventually, MK going there actually leads Monkey King there, who's again possessed. Grabs MEI, frees her in, like, a crystal. MEI kind of hones her firepower and she's trying to keep it together. Gets dragged back to the mech, because the mech is actually built to contain that fire, to use that as use the fire as a weapon. MK and everyone joins back together. Macaque comes in too to help, and Macaque gets, like, tied up, but he eventually, like, shows, like, I can get out whenever. But they bring Lady Bone Demon's henchman, who was, like, an ancient war chief back in the day, and gives a bit of backstory that the Lady Bone Demon is trying to remake the world to make a perfect world. Like, that's her whole thing. MK eventually goes, like, yeah, we're not letting her destroy the world, and we're getting our friends back. And the idea pretty much is that she has her powers so scattered out that it should be somewhat easier to distract her, so that way MK could get his staff back, and eventually, by using the staff, he could use the monkey mech to destroy the bone mech. Just bash the shit out of it. And it kind of works. They eventually go, yeah, like they said, the staff started this, the staff should end it. And legitimately, I'm like, man, this is going to be the last season. Because he says it, the staff started this whole adventure, it'll be what ends it. MK and everyone, they go to Lady Bone Demon. Also, mind you, the scariest part of this whole thing was the episode 11, which is the last episode of season 3. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh god, all these episodes are only 10 minutes long. Like, how are you going to finish, like, the entire story and all this stuff in, like, 10 minutes? It's a 40-minute episode for the last. I'm like, oh, that's how. Oh, my good. I sigh of relief. I'm like, oh, good. I thought, like, maybe it was going to end off on a cliffhanger or something. Especially because I knew there's other story things. Like, I know there's another thing that happens later on, which I was like, when does this happen? Like, and I thought, like, there's only 3 seasons. And then I Googled it, and it turns out there's actually 5 seasons, and all of them are on Peacock. And I'm like, oh, shit, I'm going to go watch that. I'm not sponsored, but I could be. But, so, I'm trying to think. So they eventually go, they distract Lady Bone Demon. Fire Sun, Red Sun actually breaks into the mode mech to get to MEI to try to break her out. And, like, tell, like, the flame doesn't control you, you control it. He's like, don't control the fire. Be the fire. You are it. That's your power. And it's really cool because it's a power that he originally had. So it's cool, kind of like he's coaching her through this and, like, trying to help her do what he couldn't when he was a baby, sir. But yeah. While that's going on, MK tries to grab the staff. The Lady Bone Demon is like, you can't win this. You're not going to win this. And, like, Monkey King's... And, like, it's cool because Monkey King Kid actually goes to grab the staff. And he's like, here comes... And then she goes, Monkey King. And Monkey King just slams down. It's like, oh, shit. But eventually, Monkey King looks like he's about to come in again to punch MK. And MK's like, you're stronger than her. And Monkey King does pull through and he grabs the staff. And he's like, thanks for believing me, kid. MK grabs it and they both pull the staff out. MK eventually then forming the monkey mech. The giant bone demon mech tries to slam down. MK's able to grab the the blades and stop it. And Lady Bone also expels like her host, so like now it's okay to kill her. Expels the host, slams down, and she's like, no! And everyone starts channeling their power to like from Pigsy, Tang, Sandy, Ichigo, Demon Bull King, Lady Ironflame, all the demons. All of a sudden, you see like this symbol start forming around the planet as it starts forming into MK. As he starts channeling his powers fully back with his staff, it's like hell yeah! Eventually, what was it? What was it? Where was it? Eventually MEI and Red Sun wakes up MEI, and MEI's like, yeah, we got this. They both channel their power into him and get into the mech too. MK forms to a giant golden mech, and it's like, oh shit! And then he forms a giant like staff. And like it's not only MK bringing it down with the mech, it's all his friends, it's Macaque, it's also Macaque actually was with there with MK too to protect him, and like he's the one who fought Monkey King while MK was trying to get the staff first. And like Monkey's like, you can do, or Monkey Kid's like, you can do this, you can stop him, you can slow it down. But anyways, yeah, everyone, they put their hands together, brings a staff, and they bring it down on top of the Lady Bone Demon. Lady Bone Demon gets destroyed, and there's a whole inner space thing. Thank you for those people out there who said God bless you. Man, I'm trying to think now. But pretty much Lady Bone, there's a whole back and forth talking with the in a white space, and Lady Bone Demon tells it look, we both wanted the same thing. We wanted to make a better world. Just know, I can't remember what MK says, but MK says no. Oh, remember what this all leads to, and MK goes, yeah, to what? To destiny? And he goes, no, to pain. And that's where Lady Bone Demon disappears. The world is saved. MK goes back to, life kind of goes back to how it was. Macaque, Monkey King, and MK kind of share a bowl of noodles. Well, really, Monkey King steals the bowl of noodles after Macaque was trying to steal them from MK. He eats their food. They eat. Macaque's like, I'll be around. Maybe I'll go scheming. Disappears. Monkey King apologizes, saying how he was a bad mentor and he's going to do better. He's going to try to do better. And again, good father-son bonding kind of thing there. I love it because MK, and then she's like, oh, it's okay. I get more noodles. He's like, I want to talk about the noodles. And he's like, I know. I try to just do funny shit to lighten the mood. And, they hug. It's cute. Life goes back to how it was. And they're like, yeah, every story. And I can't remember what the narrator says. I think Tang's like, but mind you, not there's the end of one story is the beginning of another, or something like that. And a scroll opens up in MK's bag, and that's the end. Which I was like, man, it's another series that ends and it leaves off on a cliffhanger that we don't now. We're gonna see the end, and it turns out no, there's 2 more seasons. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go watch those now. Anyways, I'm gonna go watch those now. I have another hour an hour and a half until my next till I start streaming for today. So I'm gonna go watch season 4 of this show. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'm sure if I've done links from my Facebook, long ass thing. I'll just say this right now. Actually, before I outro, yeah. I love this show. This show is really, really good. I it says there's supposed to be a season 6. I hope there is. I definitely want to get I think the Sandy boat one, because I think that one comes with Sandy and Pigsy. Because I think Pigsy, I don't know if Tang is in that one, but I do need to get those guys. I do want to get the mech one, but also there's one, I don't know if it's the Lantern City or not, but that one I definitely want to get for a few reasons. One, it has Mei in a different outfit than her bike outfit, but also, and also this one actually has her with a sword. But also, I believe that one has a Bionicle mask, which I want to get that too, because that was kind of cool. I saw it, oh shit. But, so, yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. This has, all the different ones. And, I was kind of, again, I was worried, really worried that we weren't going to get see like all these other things that I thought like, oh man, were those just fan edits? But turns out I don't think they are. So I'm excited. But anyways, thank you for watching. For sure, as I've done. Links are basically on the other store. Show all my videos. Hope you enjoy this. This was a badass. This like legitimately. I love the animation in this. Even something like Lady Bone even appearing as shadows in the sky and all that stuff was really cool. God, the animation in this is amazing. And if they're doing the next Avatar, hell yeah. I can't remember if they're doing the series or if they're doing the movie. The same animation team. Either case, I'm excited. Anyways, thanks for watching. Share our videos. Hope you enjoy this. I want to go watch more. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later. I'm probably going to do this build before I do the entire Flower Fruit Mountain, but, you know.